The 8-time world champion, Marc Marquez, is good at many things, but there is one thing he has never been good at. And that's being a good teammate. Over the years, Marc has had some high-profile teammates, but eventually, they all ended up leaving the team one way or another. In his recent documentary, Marc Marquez, All In, the Honda rider reflected on his early days in the Premier class and admitted resorting to dirty tactics in order to deny any possible advantage to his then teammate, Dani Pedrosa. Back in 2013, Marc Marquez was just a kid, stepping up from Moto2 while Dani Pedrosa was Honda's title contender after Casey Stoner's shock retirement. But as we now know, Marquez stood on the podium on his debut and took the win at only his third race with the big bikes. Leading Honda's championship charge, Marc's words had a lot of weight in terms of bike development, and he used that to make sure Honda didn't put any new parts on the bike, which in particular were to Pedrosa's liking. In the documentary, Marquez admits, "Dani and I, now we get along great, and he's an amazing person." But in 2013 and 2014 there was tension. He was the king, the number one, and people listened to what he said in the box. Everyone expected something from him. The team was focused on him. And out of nowhere comes this kid, in his first year after Moto2. First race, boom. Second race, boom. And it's a hard pill to swallow. Back then we had a great bike and everything worked well. So if a replacement piece worked for him, then I didn't like it. I wouldn't say, "This doesn't work, I want this one." I would say, "I want this replacement piece, since I'm leading. Don't give him this." That's how it was. People don't talk about it, but it's the kind of trick everyone pulls. Reflecting on his early seasons with Marquez, Dani Pedrosa reckons being competitive in everything is what gave Marquez an early edge with him. Pedrosa said, "He's very competitive. How competitive he's always been with everything. That's his strong suit." In those years there was a lot of tension because we were fighting for the same thing. He knew about my potential. That's why he always tried to stick to me, so I had no space to really take off. Since Pedrosa left at the end of 2018, Marquez has had Jorge Lorenzo, Alex Marquez and Paul Espargaro on the other side of the garage, and all three have failed to stand on the top step of the podium. Starting 2023, Marquez will have another new teammate in the form of Joan Mir. With Marquez now being 30 years old and Mir with a riding style not too different from Marquez, Mir has a very good chance of sealing himself as Honda's future superstar. But the mind games have already begun in the Honda garage as Marquez leaves words of warning indirectly aimed at Mir. Marquez said, "I've never been a nice teammate. You've got to make your teammates' life impossible, if you can." With Honda publicly admitting that their number one priority is to give Marc Marquez a competitive bike, can Joan Mir fight against all odds and take the fight to Marc Marquez, and do something which Dani Pedrosa and Jorge Lorenzo failed to do? Let's chat in the comments below. And before you leave, don't forget to hit the like button and consider subscribing if you aren't already subscribed.